All right, ladies and gentlemen, welcome out to another episode of Decode Your Reality. My name is Logan. This will be a decoding short, so welcome out to another one of these. I'm going to try to move through this really quickly. This presentation is going to be on rest in peace, the R.I.P, the R.I.P. I don't know how you would rest when you die other than peace. When you escape this nut house. That's a lot of fun. So this will be R.I.P. Decoded, rest in peace Decoded. And, you know, the highlight here is what we all came into this world through. The baby, being a virgin, which I decoded. And one day, you know, have you ever thought about this? One day, you will die. One day you're going to die. How do you get there? What does it look like to get there? But you will end up facing this position. And what happens after that? We're going to talk all about that. So welcome out to the R.I.P. Decoded. And this will be a decoding short. So I wanted to have some fun with this one here. I wanted to look at, you know, fractals, as I often do. So we go micro now. Now we go into the blood. And inside the blood, these are the red blood cells, having fun here. We have the white blood cell, red blood cells. We have the white blood cell here. And if the white blood cell could talk to us, if you could have a conversation with it, it would definitely tell you that pathogens are the devil, which are these things right here. A little fun little path. The germs, bacteria, viruses. They're the white blood cell, but they're the devil. It's the boogeyman. And I got to defend this house. I got to protect the blood. It's called the white blood cell. Protecting against the boogeyman, the devil. That's what they would say. It's the devil coming to get you. Okay? But you see, what created the white blood cell had to be the same thing that created the pathogens and bacteria. Because there would not be a job for the white blood cell if it wasn't for the invaders coming into your body. So think about this from critical thinking. The job of the white blood cell. It wouldn't have a job if it wasn't for the invaders that come into the body. Okay? And what created these? Were there separate creators for these? Well, I just think that's ludicrous. We're going to get into that. I'm going to show you how mankind's being used again, but let's have some fun with this, shall we? So we get into the bacteria, you know, otherwise known as the germ theory. Germs. Wash your hands. You know, germs. Don't let the germs touch your face. The germ. And germ is 14. It's really interesting because you now have a connection to the devil. So what are germs? Well, from a micro level, it's the devil. It's the boogeyman. It's Satan. So through the science of numbers, the oldest known numerology cipher, and you'll see, you know, I'm using Chaldean. Why am I using Chaldean? A lot of you that are new, why am I using Chaldean numerology? Well, let's take a look at that really quickly. Is because the history of it, from my research and through my studies and studying under gurus that study numerology, it's the oldest known numerology cipher in existence. It actually not just works off of numbers, but it works off of the vibrations that the letter emits. It's called phonetics. Okay, this is the reason why I feel this is one of, if not the most important numerology ciphers there is. Okay, just for those of you that are new, little edification. So the germ is the boogeyman, which invades your body. Now, did Satan, the devil, create the germs? Why would it be allowed to do that? Anyways, I'm having fun with this. And then, you know, we branch off and you can see that the big God is the same output in the same numerology cipher, keeping it in the same family. 14. And then you bring in the picture, as I often do, bring in the beautiful tarot, and we have the temperance card. And, you know, what's the job of the germs? What's the job of the invaders in your body? To keep things in balance. Because this white blood cell would not have a job if it wasn't for the foreign invaders. So this 14 is a representation of balance, which is what our ecosystem is derived. And when it gets out of balance, that's when you get the reset. And we're gonna get into that. Okay, it's for this rest in peace decode. Okay, so I want to break down just very simply the terminologies and what it looks like through the tarot. So this word, phagocytosis, it's the process. Here it is right here. Here's the narration. The process in which white blood cells seek out and destroy invaders such as cancer cells, microbes, cellular debris, and foreign substances. This is called phagocytosis. And it comes from the ancient Greek words phagon and kaitos. Okay? To eat the cell. So it acts to defend against infection and injury. Even the numerology of the original spelling of the Greek is the same numerology as the Chaldean. See how beautiful Chaldean is? 46. And then, this is what we are. We're called Homo sapiens. 46. And then the tarot gives us the picture. See, when you come into this world as a baby, it's happy home. It's rejoice, beautifulness. When you have no problems, when your body works, when you're, young and you're a whippersnapper, everything works really good. You're feeling great, tons of energy. Your body's working, digestion's working. It's happy home. Okay? Because the infections and injuries are minimal if you have a healthy body. This is how beautiful the tarot is. We're bringing in the science of numbers, and now we bring in, the medical aspect of this reality of rest in peace. So how do we get from baby to rest in peace? How do we get from the womb to the tomb? Well, it's all about the yin yang. And it is, the never-ending story. So just follow along with my narration. Here are the two. Here is the good cop, bad cop. We're going to get into that, the yin yang. The white blood cell is called the macrophage, and then the invaders called the pathogen. And then you can see the numerology is a 77. This is a master number. 7 is the endings and completions. It's a double. And it's the never-ending story, because that's what our reality is based on. It never ends. It keeps going on and on. It never ends, ever. There's no such thing as death. It's just regeneration in exchange of energy. Even this movie, if you haven't seen it, 1984, the guy who wrote it, right here, the original writer, Mike, his name is Michael. Archangel Michael, which is the Christ. So it's telling us right here, from baby to rest in peace, it's the never-ending story. And what kind of story is it? It's never-ending. So then we go back and we now see again, it's the 46. Happy home. Golden age to dark age. It's never ending. And the only way it can be never ending is it has to have balance, and the balance is derived off of the white blood cells, the macrophages, and then the invaders, the pathogens, to balance everything out. Never ending. Okay? It's a delicate balance, this ecosystem that we live in. Even the Eagles, the great band, the Eagles, their most famous song, one of the most, I think it's the most airplayed song on the radio still to this day, Hotel California. The 5 band members, which I decoded this, Hotel Capricorn, I called it Hotel Capricorn, Capricorn representing time. This song is saying you ain't ever getting out of this game. From baby to rest in peace. You're never getting out. Their birthdays, from Henley to Walsh, I know I have these two mixed up, but you add up their birthdays, it's going to give you 77. It's the never-ending story. It's Hotel California. You can check out anytime you like, but you can never leave. While you're here, it's good cop, bad cop. Okay? It's good cop, bad cop. So let's break down a little bit of some scripted reality with this presentation of Rest in Peace. So here's the gentleman who was known to discover phagocytosis, otherwise known as the white blood cell. The cell responsible for it, I should say. In 1882, this gentleman right here from Russia, was the first to discover the process called phagocytosis and the cell responsible for it, the white blood cell. Here is his name through numerology. Here is white blood cell that he discovered, phagocytosis, 58. So the question here that I would present to all of you is, do you think this guy had a choice to sit under a microscope and discover this? Do you think it was in his script? Well, obviously the science of numbers is saying that. Unless this guy's out to screw you over and dupe you and pull the wool over us, somebody's out to get you, to mock you and make these numbers come out this way, if you believe that's the case. Okay, but anyway, let's keep going here. Let me show you more of this guy's scripted reality. Let's get into his birthday. He was born on May 15th. Remember, he's all about the white blood cell under a microscope. May 15th, 135th, 136th day of the year. I like to add these up. Gives you a total of 271. 271 in mathematics is a very important number. It's the 58th prime number. And that leads to the word puppet master. That's what runs it. That's another word for what runs this reality, the supernatural. It ain't mankind. Puppet master is supernatural. You can call it anything you want. God, Lord, you can call it, you can get into titles. But you see, how is this guy born on the day, May 15th, and it adds up to 271, common in leap year, and 271 is the 58th prime, which is puppet master and tied to white blood cell. This guy was known to discover it. Was this an accident? Was this just divine intervention? Or maybe something's running this reality outside of our physicalness that is kind of running everything remotely. And I call it the puppet master, one of the terminologies. So when you bring this now into the string of the golden ratio, which is kind of the definition of mathematics, the golden ratio, you can measure nature with it, 1.61, et cetera, et cetera. So here's where the 58 from the puppet master found from, this guy's name and stuff. Where does it appear in the string of the golden ratio? Well, digit 22 and 23. That's the digits it occupies in the string of the golden ratio. I'm using this website right here called Subidium.com. I'm going to leave this link in the description of the video so you can click on it for easy access. So 22 and 23, and is it a coincidence? Is this just a miracle here that I found this? That the word blood is 23, which is what digit number 8 occupies in 58. Remember, there are 8 known blood types. A positive, B, AB, O. You're going to be one of those. There are 8. And the number 8 occupies digit 23 in the string of the golden ratio. How about that? You think that's a coincidence? Is that a miracle? Is that some kind of divine thing going on here? This is a scripted reality, folks. Okay? And when you add up all the digits where the 58 stands, you get 127. All of them. You add them all up. Where that 58 stands, 127. 127 is a permutation of the 271. 58th prime number, white blood cells. And the guy who discovered it, the process, phagocytosis. You see? So, again, do you think this guy had a choice? No. In my opinion, he was sitting under a microscope because he was born to do it. Found his calling. I mean, he was well known, obviously, in these universities, his awards that he won. Well, a lot of people say, well, he's not real. A computer's running this reality. Well, is he real? Is this guy real? I don't know. I never met the guy. I'm real and I'm scripted. I can show you my scripted reality. But anyway, for the last slide for this guy right here, for baby to rest in peace, which has to do with white blood cells and pathogens, you look at his 2 birth cards. His birth to death card. His birth to his rest in peace card. 4 diamonds, king of clubs. Interesting, he was born and died on day 15. Card 30, card 26. You add it up, you get 56. And as I've been showing so many times, and many of you great decoders have been showing, it's the movie. When you see the 56, it means you're in a movie. All right, this guy was an actor in the movie called Earth. Earth is a movie set. We're in a real movie. And he had an important job. because he was the one to discover the process of what the white blood cell was all about, phagocytosis. Pretty interesting, right? With this guy and his code. So this is really kind of what it comes down to for this decoding short of Rest in Peace. Eventually you're going to face death. And as you go through time, which is the devil, which will make you sin, which is going to make you decay, it's going to break you down, it's going to give you injuries, maybe sickness, diseases. It's good cop, bad cop. It's the white blood cells against the pathogens, or the macrophages against the pathogens. Good cop, bad cop. And it's all about the movie down here. 64 is the total outcome for good cop, bad cop. That's why I have the checkerboard floor here. This is what we live in. This has nothing to do with anything Masonic. They use it, who cares? Has nothing to do with them. Okay? That's white to black, good cop, bad cop. And it means you're in the movie. You're inside of a movie. This element, gadolinium, the GD element, just missing the O there. It's got 64 protons. That's the possible codons in our DNA. So I got the DNA spiral here. This element was used for television screens at one point. Is that an accident? No, because you're living inside of a movie. We are inside of a television. It's called Earth. And it's good cop, bad cop, antagonist, protagonist. So I wanted to end this presentation. Woo, here's a blast of white light. Let your eyes adjust a little bit. I wanted to give you a very simple way to look at this reality from a baby to death, which is what you will face at some point in your life. And it's very, very simple. And this is through the astrological ages as well. So we start off, every age starts off in the golden age. Okay, this is you as a baby. When you're born into this world, you're pure. Diapers are white. Till you take a shit in them, then it's not white anymore. The devil pops out of your butt. That's called waste. Okay? But it's the golden age. This is you in the circle. And the cycle of time. You move through time. And this is what happens. You get the Vesica Pisces, you cross over, and now these dark spots are the representation of pathogens. These are the representation of ideas. These are representations of things that ground you to the world, what you believe in, and how many miles you got on the body. Every time you eat, everything engages, you put more miles on the body. And so as you move through time, you get darker. You get more miles. And then you reach adulthood. And then the aches and pains start in. You're not a spring chicken anymore. The pathogens are having their way with you. The devil is having its way with you. And eventually you just keep going and you get darker and darker. And you reach the senior citizen age. Now this age can be beautiful because you now become like refined wine. You're very wise. You may be able to teach a youngster a thing or two of what to do to stay longer at the younger age. But eventually you're facing what comes next and you become darker and then you become completely dark. And now the Grim Reaper, the Kali Yuga, has its way. You're in the dark age, which seemingly is what we're in right now. That's why it's a shit show during the dark age. That's why you have a lot of corruption. That's why you have a lot of deception, as the people call it, because you are almost at the end here. You're dark. There's a lot of darkness, which is what all of us will face. You will face this at some point in your life. The pathogens will have their way, they will win, and you will face death, and you will face rest in peace. And then it will just start all back over again with the baby stage, if reincarnation is the absolute here. And so it ends with this slide right here, ladies and gentlemen. We have the beginning, 30. The word placenta is 30. Check out my baby Decoded. and we have the end, 14. It's interesting, if you just drop the 0, you get pi there, 3.14. It's the perfect circle. It's called Earth. So if we say these words, 30 and 14, we get 59, and we now can see it's called the game of life. It's how beautiful Chaldean numerology is. The game of it. The word contract with God is 59. And the 59th element, we bring alchemy into this to get an extension upon this. It's praseodymium, and it means the twins. What are the twins? Castor and Pollux. This is the yin-yang inside your body. It's good cop, bad cop. It's the DNA spiral. It's the deoxyribonucleic acid. Gemini. Gemini's 19. Master is 19. Apex is 19. Spirit is 19. And there's that pi right there. It says, it has different atomic masses, but 141 is one of them. I mean, it's right there with beginning and end. Just drop that 0. You see how beautiful this is? That's why Chaldean's so special. So this is Rest in Peace Decoded, ladies and gentlemen. That is the end of this presentation. I hope you enjoyed this decoding short. Would love to hear your comments. Keep them coming. Just keep them cordial. Again, you don't have to agree with everything I say. I'm just going to, just keep them cordial. It's all about loving here, folks. All right? Anyway, I'd love to hear what you say. Keep your comments coming. But that's all I got for today. My name is Logan for Decode Your Reality. Until next time, we will see you later.